Morning, guys. We on Revelation chapter 18, reading from verse 1. After these things I saw another angel coming down from heaven, having great authority, and the earth was illuminated with his glory. And he cried out with a mighty voice, saying, Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great. She has become a dwelling place of demons and a prison of every unclean spirit, and a prison of every unclean and hateful bird. And as we've been going through this, Babylon the Great is that scarlet harlot that is riding the beast, and this represents the city of Babylon, and she has become completely rotten. Every demon, every idolatry, every evil thing flows through this powerful city at this time. And so now God has said the time has come. Babylon is going to be wiped out, the center of the religious order, so that Satan can come up through that order and rule as a single figure. And so we've seen this, and we have pictures in the Old Testament. We always have types of Babylon that we can look back at, and if we all go back to even when Nebuchadnezzar was one of the most powerful kings of the time, ruling in Babylon, and how he was humbled when he said, "This is all Babylon that I've created." And then later his predecessor came, and God wrote on the wall, "Mene, mene, tekel parsin," meaning you've been found in the scales wanting. The city has been judged, and in one day the Medes and Persians came through the water ducts and took that city down, and there was nothing left. Well, there's a little bit left. Today you can go to Iraq, you can go to that site of Babylon, and there's a few ruins. In fact, they're starting to restore that, the walls and the greatness of that place. But it's just like a desert area where there's just not much happening at the moment. But who knows, that city may be revived again like it's been in the past. It's not the first time. King Nebuchadnezzar, even before that city was demolished. So there's been these times in history where God's come in and wiped out the evil. And so as we go through this chapter, we have a very similar thing happening. It's actually prophesied in Isaiah 13, verse 19. And Babylon, the beauty of kingdoms, the glory of the Chaldeans' pride, will be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And just like God took down that city of Sodom and Gomorrah with fire, one day he completely obliterated that place because of all the evil. A similar thing is coming to the Babylon in the future. It's going to raise up, it's going to become a powerful place, and God's going to deal with it. Verse 20 of chapter 13, it will never be inhabited or lived in from generation to generation, nor will the Arab pitch his tent there, nor will the shepherds make their flocks lie down there. And so at the moment it's not inhabited, so maybe it will never rise up again in that area. And maybe this is just a kind of spiritual type of Babylon. But as the days get closer, it'll become clearer exactly what this Babylon is. Verse 21, but the desert creatures will lie down there, and their houses will be full of owls, ostriches, which are unclean birds, also will live there. And so we have this in verse 2 of chapter 18, where it says, and every unclean and hateful bird. And it comes, as we go through this, it goes more into detail how these birds eat the flesh of this great city that's fallen. So this chapter, looking at Babylon, that spiritual hub, where all these religions have come together, and the great power is now being brought down. God's judgment will always come. And the point is, let's not partake of this evil. Let's be aware what goes on. As it says, it's a haunt of demons. You know, a glorious city has a lot of flashing lights and lustrous things that attract us by the flesh. But behind all that stuff is a lot of demons and a lot of evil. And so we need to avoid all that rubbish at all cost. So I trust that you are discerning today. God bless.